Corley, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm setting up for February in my bullet journal, but first let's take a look at January. So far everything's been working pretty well. I like my title cover page and dashboard spread, so I'll be keeping that for February. And while I really enjoy my weekly setups, I'll be making some adjustments to better fit my needs with my internship. Also, I was originally writing clients' names down in my bujo, so I've covered those up with washi for confidentiality. And I now just write their initials so I don't have to worry about it. Now let's get started with the February setup. I've gone with a soft, feminine setup with roses in 2 shades of pink, complemented with some greens and my gold jelly roll pen. I've also picked out a few washi tapes to experiment with again this month. I've told myself that if I'm going to keep my washi, I need to use my washi. So for the cover page, I surrounded my February title with a golden circle with some roses at the top and a bow at the bottom. I started off with the roses and drew a cluster of 4 with some leaves and extra buds sticking out. While I did sketch the roses out first, I ended up basically ignoring my pencil marks other than to use them as a guide for where I was going to place the roses. I found these were pretty easy to doodle and I liked freehanding them better than following my pencil sketch. I know my hand is kind of in the way for this part of the video, so I'm really sorry about that, but I promise it does get better soon. Once I was happy with the way the roses were set up, I moved on to drawing a little bow down at the bottom. I think it helps balance out the circle without having to add too many roses. And for anybody who knows me, I really love bows. I'm very happy to be using my gold jelly roll pen again this month. I think it adds so much to a spread. It feels very elegant, and I think it adds to the soft femininity of my theme. While I'm not one who puts much stock in Valentine's Day, I do always think of February as a more romantic month, and I've always liked decorating it with pinks and a kind of soft elegance. But to me, I think February represents more self-love than a couple's thing, and I can always use the reminder to be kinder to myself and to foster self-compassion and love. I chose a cursive style font for this month, which I wrote using my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip. By the way, does anyone know the actual pronunciation for that? I would love it if someone could drop that in the comments. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, and I'd really like to know which is the correct way. Bonus points if you write it in IPA, so I can put my phonetics class to good use. Hello, second term of my master's program in communication disorders. I was pretty happy with the theme after outlining everything with my fine liner, but oh my goodness, I am so in love with it now that it's colored in. It turned out so much better than I was imagining, and I just want to keep staring at it. Is that too much? Well, let's move on over to the other page. I'm keeping the right side of the spread the same as in my January setup. I'm considering it my monthly dashboard with sections for my calendar, tracking income and savings, and any extra notes I may have throughout the month. I included a small calendar for a visual overview of the month, with a list-style events calendar down the side of the page. I don't keep much in the calendar, so I find that this is plenty of room for me. Under the calendar, I keep my income and savings tracker. This grid has a space to write the date received, a description of where it came from, and then a space to write how much it was. Then I have additional columns for different savings categories and one to indicate how much is left over. And then the final column is to check off once I've transferred the savings into my savings account. Then the last section for my monthly dashboard is just for any additional notes. For the calendar list along the side, I typically keep things like due dates for tuition payments and when the kids I nanny have days off school. Since I typically set up all of my weeklies at the start of the month, I keep all other events and birthdays and such in the weekly spreads. I stuck with the same font for the full setup to try to keep everything together. It's been fun trying out different fonts that aren't my typical handwriting. This one is Romantica, and I found it on defont.com. For the little calendar, I put little gold dots with my jelly roll pen and wrote the dates on top with a black fine liner. I was going to write the dates in gold, but realized the pen tip isn't thin enough for the small numbers. Then on the list-style calendar, I highlighted the weekends in the lighter pink marker so I can easily see all of the weeks separated out. Then I finished up the page with some more rose doodles and gold lines and experimented with 3 different washi tapes down at the bottom. I'm still unsure about those, but I'm leaving them in. started doing is lining the edge of certain pages in washi tape so I can easily find them without a bookmark. I did this for the start of the winter section, the start of January, and I'm doing it again now for the start of February. You can see how these pages now stand out, and I don't have to worry about keeping other bookmarks or flipping through to try to find them, since I only have one bookmark and do not keep an index. And now we're officially done with the cover page and dashboard, so let's move on to the first weekly spread, which is the last spread for this setup. This is very similar to the setup I've been using for a few months now, but I'm making some adjustments. With my internship, I see clients in 30-minute sessions, so I need room to break my day by half-hour increments instead of just 1-hour increments. And I also realized I don't need all of the space horizontally, so I'm squeezing 4 columns on each page instead of 3. The top of each column will have the times running along the side from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then there's an additional space at the bottom to keep track of homework assignments due on each day and any other tasks that I need to complete. I made a little mistake and accidentally wrote 7 at the top when that's actually 7:30, and I attempted to go over it with my white gel pen, but it got gray and muddy looking, so I used some whiteout instead. And then I grabbed my gold jelly roll to write the dates next to each daily initial. Then the last column on the right-hand side has a mini calendar, a habits tracker, a tasks box, and a notes box. And I popped in a few rose doodles as well. I'm keeping the colors very minimal for this spread since, as you saw in the January flip through, I've been coloring in all of the events in the hourly section, and I find that adds plenty of color. Putting some last-minute touches to the spreads, I used my gray mild liner to highlight every other row in my income and savings grid, added some drop shadows to all of the boxes on the dashboard spread, and then also added some drop shadows to my weekly spread. And now we're done! I really love this theme, and as I said earlier, it turned out so much nicer than I had hoped. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know what theme you've chosen for February. Thanks so much for watching this video and taking on this bullet journal adventure with me. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a little thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future video uploads. And as always, whatever combination of buttons you choose to click, I am truly grateful to share this bullet journey with you. Happy planning, and see you next time.